Mangwana ni mwalelepo Kenjani, Klekwa Savannah Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news and current affairs show bringing you everything you need to know happening on the African continent and beyond. You are joined by Ashwin Mbedi. These are some of the top stories we'll be looking at today. At least 94 dead in Mozambique after a ferry boat capsizes. Stakeholders hold crunch meeting over energy crisis that is in Ghana. And Zimbabwe's President Emerson Mnangagwa says he has no intention of running for a third term. It is rather chilly in the capital of Windhoek. We hope you're staying warm. Top stories after the break. Getting into our top stories, at least 94 people, including children, have died and 26 others are missing after a ferry boat capsized off the northern coast of Mozambique, say officials. The vessel was an overloaded fishing boat and was not licensed to transport people. Lorenco Mercado, an administrator of the country's Maritime Transport Institute, said on state television yesterday. On Sunday, we registered a maritime incident where at least 94 people died when a barge carrying 130 people capsized. We have recovered 94 bodies and 26 are missing, he said. The boat was ferrying people from Lunga in Nampula province to the island of Mozambique, he said, adding that initial reports indicated that it was hit by a tidal wave. Most of those on board were trying to escape the mainland because of a panic caused by disinformation about cholera, according to Nampula's Secretary of State, Jaime Neto. Now we move over to Ghana. Players in the energy sector value chain on Saturday held a crunch meeting to discuss the erratic power supply in the country. Convened by the Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament, the meeting was attended by representatives from the Ministries of Finance and Energy, the Electricity Company of Ghana, the Ghana Grid Company, the Volta River Authority, the Bui Power Authority, the Northern Electricity Development Company, and independent power producers. Speaking with the media after the closed-door meeting, the chairman of the Mines and Energy Committee and MP for Akiem Abukwa South, Samuel Ata Akeya, said they had listened to all the stakeholders and had a better grasp of the issues bedeviling the sector. Having come to that realization, he then said the need for a load-shedding timetable to manage the situation had become inevitable. Now we move over to Zimbabwe. In a video which was unveiled by Zimbabwean newspaper The Sunday Mail, President Emerson Mnangagwa dismissed allegations that he would run for an unconstitutional third term. There's not an iota of evidence where ZANU-PF or I, as president, has ever expressed the violation of our constitution, the 81-year-old said. Now much attention has been drawn to a slogan heard at ZANU-PF rallies in recent months, 2030 Vamnangagwa Vanenge Vachipo. Loosely translated, at 2030, Mnangagwa will still be president. The party secured a supermajority in parliament last February in disputed elections. Now moving over to South Africa. It was a sad moment when Renate Meyer, Chief Inspector of the Bloemfontein SPCA, opened the door to a house in Hanneman to discover 70 illegally kept wild animals, including several snakes in crisis. Following the death of their owner, the Bloemfontein SPCA received an appeal for assistance from the local conservation authority indicating that a large number of illegally kept indigenous and exotic animals were slowly starving to death in his house, the SPCA said in a statement. Upon their arrival, the team found that some animals had already succumbed to starvation and dehydration, but that over 60 animals were still alive and in need of rescue. Now, Brazil's ambassador to Namibia, Vivian San Martin, has called for more trade between Namibia and the South American country, saying the two countries are neighbors separated only by the Atlantic Ocean. A delegation of Brazilian business people is in Namibia looking for trading opportunities. She further added that she sees a lot of opportunities for collaboration between Namibia and Brazil to develop green hydrogen industries. San Martin added that Brazil stands ready to help Namibia develop her oil resources owing to increased exploration for oil and gas off the Namibian coast. Let's have a look at this clip.
I'm not aware that there is a cooperation in place, but I would love to see it, and I have discussed this with authorities here. We have just to see how we can reach out and start talking to each other. Gas and oil, I think it was in the question as well. Well, Brazil has a long tradition of offshore drilling, and most of our oil comes from the sea, and Namibia is the same case. The main discoveries are offshore. So there's a plethora of services that can be offered to Namibia. All kinds of equipment and services, consulting, from our experience, from our industry. We are a leader in this, in offshore drilling and deep, very deep drilling. So this is just some of the examples that I can relate to. As late President Hage Geingob once observed, Brazil and Namibia are neighbors, only separated by the Atlantic. I believe that the Atlantic should rather link and connect us, and it's for that reason that I want to congratulate the organizer for this mission. Today, we will discuss the ideas and projects with partners here. I wish to thank, in that regard, Minister Ipumbo for her presence here, which honors us, and for her engagement, which is a clear demonstration that the political will to increase our trade relations is there. Tomorrow, the mission will be in Walvis Bay to meet with non-port authorities. As Namibia wishes to promote Walvis Bay and its corridors system as a major entry port for the Southern Africa hinterland, and as a world-class logistic hub, raising awareness about its advantages among Brazilian business and political leaderships is essential.
Getting into the last of our top stories, Nicaragua has asked the UN's highest court to halt Germany's weapon sales to Israel at the start of a landmark case. Germany is accused of breaching the UN Genocide Convention by sending military hardware to Israel and seizing funding to the UN's aid agency. Berlin rejects the claims and will present a defense to the International Court of Justice today. In 2023, some 30% of Israel's military equipment purchases came from Germany, totaling $326 million US. Those have been our top stories on Africa Good Morning. After the break, we talk to Mike Scihula, who is ready to bring us the news from Zambia.
Hallo Namibia, ons is by die kus en ons is lus.
By the Easter shark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes. Please, today you make sure that we are fed. Sorry, exactly.
All right, it's time to talk to Mike Scihula in Zambia. Mike, Budibanji.
Chile Bueno Mulibwanji, Africa, good morning to all our dear viewers across the African continent.
Buino. Now let's get straight into your top stories. Zambia has been selected to host the first ever SADC Spelling Bee of Inclusivity. Tell us more.
Yeah, so this competition will involve 4 countries, namely Zambia, Malawi, Botswana, and Zimbabwe. So speaking at the official launch, Lordspark School Country Director for Spelling Bee, Zambia, Dr. Chilala Kakomabowa said the SADC Spelling Bee competition will be the first to involve spelling using sign language. So this is a competition specifically designed for learners that use sign language. So it is something that the Zambia Association of Persons with Disabilities has praised the SADC committee for ensuring that persons with using sign language are also incorporated in competitions such as the Spelling Bee competition that is going to come to Zambia, and it will be hosted in Livingstone, the tourist capital, in June this year.
All right, progressive and indeed essential. Now, a Malawian traditional doctor claiming to possess supernatural powers capable of bringing the dead to life has been dragged to court.
Wow, this is one of those stories that has sent people jostling to the court to see how this man looks, who claims to be a traditional healer capable of resurrecting somebody who has died. So he appeared in the Chipata Magistrates Court on accusations that he obtained money by false pretenses. How this came about, he claimed that he could resurrect a dead person in Kasenengwa district of eastern Zambia. So Emmanuel Banda, aged 34, obtained 900 kwacha from the family of Dren Nirenda, who died while performing a Gule Wamkulu, a traditional dance that is practiced by the Chewa-speaking people. So Mr. Nirenda died while performing the Gologolo dance, which involves dancing on high poles. That is on 24th December 2023. So when he died, the traditional leader from Malawi appeared on the scene, and he claimed that he could resurrect the deceased, that is then Dren Nirenda. So it is upon this that the family paid 900 kwacha, which is less than $7, but the deceased could not be resurrected. And this is why this family got incensed, and they dragged him to court. And he has been appearing in court. So in the probably next week or so, he's supposed to appear in court for mention, so that he explains to charges of obtaining money by false pretenses. Because as we all know, I don't think there is another Jesus to resurrect a man who died while performing a traditional dance.
That is true. I mean, it would be surprising, obviously timely right after Easter, but not quite true. We'll see how justice is served in that one. Now, on a rather sad note, a marital dispute has resulted in the death of an infant.
Yeah, a very, very sad development happening from the Copperbelt province of Zambia, where a month-old infant has died after being punched in the head by the father during a marital dispute. So the incident happened after Mary Chiembe, 30, advised her husband, Yona Nari, 25, not to be moving at night as it could be dangerous. So Copperbelt Province Commanding Officer Piso Mwemba explained that the couple, after this advice from the wife, they had this disagreement escalated into the physical fight, which led to neighbors intervening as the fight went outside their matrimonial home. That was on Wednesday last week. However, when neighbors managed to stop the fight, the couple seemed to have reconciled. Then they went back into their house. But sadly, when they went into their house, another fight erupted, which led to the husband to direct his anger towards the infant by striking the baby in the head with his fist and further threatening to kill the child. But the fist, the amount of power that was exerted on the infant was too much, such that the month-old baby died during this fight. Sad situation there.
Truly sad and truly horrific. But let's move over to your last story, Mike. The Copper Queens are hoping for a favorable result, a redeeming result when they face Morocco tonight.
A very tense situation for the Copper Queens because they failed to beat Morocco at the home ground, that is Levi Manawansa Stadium last week. So going into Morocco, the Copper Queens are trailing 2-1. And the good part about this match is that there is no goal, there's no away goal rule. So the Copper Queens have got an advantage in terms of if they can hold on to the 2-1 defeat and probably score 1 or 2 goals without conceding, then they can qualify. So this, the Copper Queens, they'll be using, because the last time the Copper Queens played 2 friendlies against Morocco, they won both matches by more than 4 goals. So it is something that costs Ruth Mwape and the players such as Barbara Banda, Lecho Kundananji, Grace Chanda, and others are hoping that it could turn around the fortune that they need to qualify for the Olympics once again.
A difficult task indeed, but not insurmountable. We wish them all the best. Thank you, Mike, for bringing us the news stories from Zambia.
Thank you very much, Africa. Good morning. Thank you very much.
All right, that's been Mike Scihula bringing us the news stories from Zambia. We're going to swing over to the weather before we talk economics. Getting into our economic news stories, the ex-central bank governor of Nigeria pled not guilty to fresh charges. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission accused Emefiele of arbitrarily allocating foreign exchange of about $2 billion without bids and due process, it said in a fresh charge sheet with 26 allegations. The move escalates the legal battle between the anti-graft agency and the former bank governor, who's also facing charges of fraud, corruption and criminal conspiracy. Emefiele, who appeared before Lagos High Court Judge Raman Oshodi, pleaded not guilty to all of the accusations, Bloomberg reported. Following his inauguration in May, Nigerian President Bola Tinubu suspended the former central bank governor, whose policies on naira redesign and foreign exchange controls had drawn criticism. Tinubu later ordered an investigation of the central bank's operations, and a report in December made more fraud accusations against Emefiele, including holding hundreds of unauthorized overseas bank accounts, buying 2 banks through proxies, and obtaining dollars through false claims. Now, textile manufacturer Rivertex has partnered with the Chinese firm to produce fabric and garment products as it eyes to exploit opportunities under the African Growth and Opportunity Act markets. The collaboration with the GTAHC Industrial Park Limited will increase the demand for fabric from Rivertex to 2 billion shillings and create an additional 4,000 jobs for tailors, transforming the country's textile industry. This is Kenya. Under the partnership, the Chinese firm will second technical experts to Rivertex to empower the company to standardize its fabrics to meet AGOA's needs following the allocation of 600 million shilling to modernize its operations to internal requirements. We are out to share experiences, including seconding of expertise to boost the manufacture of quality fabrics that meet AGOA markets to increase profitability and create employment opportunities, said Mr. Wang. All right, those have been our economic news stories. Let's head over to the economic indicators just before Ari Hohad brings us the sport.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with soccer news first. Premier League action from England, and it's very tight at the top still. It is three clubs that are very close to each other. It is Arsenal leading with 71 points, Liverpool also 71 points in second place on goal difference, and then Manchester City on 70. Now this coming weekend, all three of these teams do have home games, and that is probably games that they will win, but a tough game for Arsenal. They've got the toughest game of the three. Arsenal will play against Aston Villa, that is fifth on the log at the moment, and then it's Manchester City that will play at home against Luton Town, and Liverpool, they play at home against Crystal Palace. It is Manchester City that's the defending champion. They won the title 2022 and 2023 season, and they're trying to win for the third consecutive year. Continuing international sports news with tennis news, it's a Monte Carlo Masters that's starting. It's a tennis tournament. It's the ATP men's tournament. All the top players in the world are playing in this tournament. Good preparation also leading up to the Roland Garros, the first major of the year coming up on the men's tennis calendar. Number one seed in the tournament will be number one in the world, Novak Djokovic, and then number two seed Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner probably the form player in world tennis at the moment. Number three will be Carlos Alcaraz of Spain, and number fourth seed will be Daniil Medvedev. So all the top players in action in Monte Carlo. Some of the first round games that was already played saw Lorenzo Musetti of Italy. He played against the American Taylor Fritz, and to win for Musetti, more comfortable on clay, and he won 6-4 and 6-4. That's in the first round. That is the Monte Carlo Masters being played in Monte Carlo. And closing off today's international sports news, it is golf news. It is Dean Burmeister of South Africa. A great achievement for him, winning the Live Golf Tournament in Miami. Lots of money in the Live Golf Tournament. It is the breakaway league of Saudi Arabia. Unfortunately, the win don't get Dean Burmeister into the Masters. It is the Masters, the first major of the year, that will start this week at Augusta National. But there's 13 players of the Live Golf Initiative that will play in the Masters. But Dean Burmeister, he's a world ranking too high for him to play in the Masters. But what happened in the tournament in Miami, it is Dean Burmeister that played against Sergio Garcia in a playoff. They both ended on the same score after 3 rounds, and it was after the second playoff hole that Dean Burmeister won, and he won $4 million for his win. That's if you convert that to South African rand, it is more than 70 million South African rand that he won just with this one tournament. So a great achievement by Dean Burmeister. The next golf tournament in the Live Golf Initiative will be from April the 26th to the 28th, and that will be in Australia. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
Those have been our sports stories. Keeping in mind, UEFA Champions League action continues tonight at 9 p.m. Arsenal will face Bayern Munich. Madrid will face Manchester City. Tomorrow, PSG, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid and Dortmund. Let's have a look at the highlights from this broadcast. All right, sorry about that. We had a little bit of a mix-up with our highlights package, but essentially when we're looking at the highlights from this broadcast, what we're talking about is that at least 94 dead in Mozambique after a ferry boat capsized. Stakeholders in Ghana hold crunch meeting over energy crisis, and Zimbabwe's president says he has no intention of running for a third term. This has been Africa Good Morning with Ashwin Berry. See you tomorrow.